Greetings and salutations. It's good to be back on the channel to discuss BRM5, and I'll start off 2022 with an overview of the most recent development blog. Before we begin, I would like to make clear that I am far from an unbiased party in this discussion. I am a firm supporter of the game, and I'm certain that my proclivities will be made clear in this video. However, this overview is not contracted or anything of the sort, I'm just giving my opinion. So with that out of the way, there's plenty to unpack. Please sit down, relax, and enjoy. This dev blog is meant to be a review and status update following BRM5 version 6.0, better known as Operation Resurgence. PL5 CM Nernal begins with a formal address of the community. He announces that many significant changes will be coming to the game, but that PL5 is keen on connecting with its community to reach BRM5's full potential. For those unaware, a survey was conducted last month to collect public feedback for development. This data has proven helpful in tailoring the game's overall approach, and I imagine that subsequent surveys will help to refine that. I myself have been staunchly outspoken about PL5's transparency and how poorly it juxtaposed with the studio's marketing. I have faith in PL5's ability to deliver, but there's a lot of trust to be recovered. The next section goes in depth on PL5's newest team members. The first is Gravity, an environmental artist and map designer who you may have become familiar with last year. That office map that was teased back in Devblog 5 finally made its way into adversarial PvP alongside Metro, followed by a number of optimizations to existing maps. The second is Panzer, gamemodes' very own sound designer responsible for composing several in-game sounds. Among ambient noise, he's also composed a number of OSTs. Some of his work can be heard in the main menu, the opening sequences of PvP matches, firearms, vehicles, and many more. Next up is MB, the talented 3D artist behind BRM5's updated ground vehicles and the immaculately constructed DWF-416A5. Apart from an in-depth understanding of firearms, I appreciate his attention to little things that none but the most detail-oriented would notice. It's worth noting that the majority of weapons going forward will be created by him, so get excited. There's also myself. I've done a fair amount of voice acting previously, but for the past few months I've been working in the fields of story writing and game design. Some of my work thus far includes the logos and literature for items in the gunsmith. The game design aspects will be covered later in this video. Now, the rest of the blog helps clear confusion on the update and details plans for the future. Nar kicks this section off by explaining the importance of 6.0 and how necessary this update is to the future of BRM5. One might go as far as to say that's a completely new game. Now, in retrospect, I sympathize even more with parts of the community that have been left in the dark. Over the latter half of 2021, there was little communication on the update apart from content previews on Twitter and Discord. For those of you on YouTube, this might be the first sign of life for a very long time. Secureable mini outposts will be replaced by a more dynamic objective system that should greatly improve general enjoyment and replay value. Some smaller features such as skydiving will return shortly. The revive system remains on the table for the community to voice its opinion on. Personally, I hope it returns. The last point is particularly important to me as someone who, in less professional terms, despises the current eyes. Please deliver. Panzer and Panda sections will be covered simultaneously as they both pertain to the game's atmosphere. A great deal of sounds will not only be remastered to sound more realistic, but be delivered alongside a new and improved sound system. This system, ideally, will make the hearing experience much more believable and satisfying. I'm not exactly a snob for sounds, but I'm open to things being more grounded. To complement BRM5's scale, lighting and overall visuals will see their own tweaks in order to properly immerse players. Before moving on, I should reaffirm that BRM5 is not realistic in mechanics, but aesthetic. Don't try to conflate the two. Many new players are probably wondering if collectible weapons like the C7A2 and AUG-1 will ever be obtainable in the future. The answer to that is, well, probably. Rewards will be handled in tandem with the dynamic objective system, meaning that there will be less randomness in the distribution of collectibles. This will likely mark the end of playing raid mode over and over for just one gun. As previously stated, MB's modeling has really set a new bar for this genre, and I'm very excited to see the weapons and vehicles cooked up for this year. Now, vehicles are quite the high point for me. I always thought BRM5's vehicle selection was a bit dated for what I thought to be a more modern and grounded game. Nevertheless, light attack vehicles will be an excellent fit for a game of BRM5 scale and completely in line with changing doctrine in the real world. One of the more anticipated features, especially in the faction community, is the real-time game editor, or RGE. In essence, it allows organized groups to create their own experiences by freely placing and editing objects in the game world. Many would liken this to the DM in Dungeons & Dragons or Zeus in Arma 3. To be clear, this feature will be available to anyone with a paid private server, and I look forward to seeing what kinds of missions it will be used to create. As we bid farewell to raid mode, new game modes are on the horizon and will hopefully help to expand BRM5's audience and fun factor. In preparation for this, a number of weapon balancing updates will be set in stone. At some point down the line, I would like for all weapons to be viable in their own right while eliminating many of the crutches currently present in PvP. There is clearly much to look forward to, and personally, I'm excited. As I conclude this video, I would like to wish each and every one of you an amazing day. From one player to another, here's to 2022.